where the midline and y-axis cross, which way did your sine graph go? To the right it went up, and to the left it went down. What does this one do? Just the opposite, right? How do I get it to do just the opposite? I reflect it over the x-axis. So the same deal as the last one. This is reflected over the x-axis. Yes, on the written work test, it'll depend on if that's how I ask the question.
D is just 4 because it's shifted left 4?
No, it shifted up 4.
Up 4.
This is the y equals 0. And so the midline is up 4 in order for it to get.
Oh, because 8 is the highest point?
Right, because 8 is the highest, 0 is the lowest y value, so halfway between.
Okay.
So A is going to be negative. What's the amplitude? 4. So absolute value of A is going to be 4. So the actual A number will need to be negative 4. So again, we now need to do B. The period is equal to 2 pi divided by B. On this one, the period is probably most easily seen here. At least for me it is. And I count that out. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. So the period is 4. So I have 4 equals 2 pi divided by B. That means 4B is equal to 2 pi. So B is equal to 2 pi divided by 4, which is pi over 2. Now because I chose a sine function and reflected it over the x-axis, I can do it without anything related to a phase shift, so I can say that C is going to be 0. So my function now, f of x equals negative 4 sine of pi over 2 times x.